Quick note, if I sound a little off in this video, I am sick while recording the voiceover. Hey everyone, Dan here, and today I'm at the new Carrollton train station to ride the MARC train. MARC is Maryland's commuter and regional rail system. I'll explain more about it in detail, but first, New Carrollton. This station is in Prince George's County, Maryland, which serves the MARC Penn Line, Amtrak Northeast Corridor services, the Washington Metro Orange Line, and soon the Purple Line. This station is currently under heavy construction, which is why I'm doing this voiceover. The station has a proper waiting area and it's quite heavily used. There's a cafe, restrooms which are in very poor condition, a ticketing office, and yes, Dr. Pepper. At the moment, the main entrance to the Amtrak and MARC station is closed, so I had to go through the metro entrance. Once my train arrived, I went onto the platform, which is also under construction, and got the world's worst foamer shot because of it. While this video will be on the Penn Line, some of the footage shown will feature a Camden Line train, which are incredibly similar. I'll point out any differences if necessary. I'm not exactly sure which rolling stock this is, but it's one of the double-decker cars. Unlike VRE, these aren't gallery cars, but full two-story train cars. MARC does sometimes use a mixed rolling stock on a train. This particular train ran 6 double-story cars behind a single-story bike car. It's a pretty standard rolling stock fleet. Restrooms, wheelchair access, and bike areas are located near the vestibules. Restrooms can vary a bit though, they aren't on every car. These cars are heavy on steps though. Unless you want to be stuck near the doors, you have to use stairs to get through the train itself. Accessibility here is not great. Many of the stations on every MARC route have short platforms, meaning you may need to walk through the train to get off in the right area. MARC runs a 3-line commuter and regional rail service. The Brunswick line runs weekday peak hour and peak direction services between Frederick, Maryland or Martinsburg, West Virginia to Washington Union Station via the Metropolitan Branch and Old Main Line subdivisions. Some trains stop at Brunswick instead of Martinsburg, and Frederick is served on a branch line. The Camden line runs peak hour bidirectional weekday trains between Washington Union Station and Baltimore Camden through Laurel via the Capitol subdivision. Some trains stop at Dorsey instead of Baltimore. The Penn Line runs all-day bidirectional service from DC Union Station to Baltimore Penn Station through BWI Airport on the Northeast Regional. On the Penn Line, during peak hours and peak direction only, some trains will continue from the Baltimore Penn Station up to the station in Perryville. Alstom operates the Camden and Brunswick lines, while Amtrak operates the Penn Line. The Penn Line runs on Amtrak-owned rails, while the Brunswick and Camden run on CSX tracks. The Penn and Camden lines are not electrified and require diesel power, while the Penn Line is electrified to 12 kV 25 Hz AC power. Only some of the Penn Line trains use electric power, and others use diesel locomotives. Unlike the VRE train I recently reviewed, MARC uses a large and diverse fleet of locomotives and rolling stock. The locomotives include 6 EMD GP39PH3C from 1988, 6 electric HHP-8 locos from Bombardier Alstom from 1998, 26 MPI MP36PH3Cs from 2009, 8 Siemens Charger SC44s from 2018. The rolling stock consists of single-story Marc IIA and IIB cars made by Sumitomo Nippon Sharyo, with some refurbished by Bombardier in 2009. These have been in service since 1985. There are 2 models of bi-level cars, these being the Marc III from Kawasaki in 1999 and refurbished by Bombardier in 2018. A few of these are actually old fleet from VRE. The Marc IV were built in 2014 by Bombardier and are the newest in service. MARC used to use Pullman gallery cars from 2004 to 2015 on the Brunswick line, which they purchased from Metra and eventually sold back to them. The Penn Line route leaves New Carrollton through Seabrook, going through a greenfield area through Odenton, past BWI, into West Baltimore, and then into Baltimore proper.
Stage jumping down line, being now line, Baltimore Penn Station, please watch it down. Stage jumping down the rear, please walk up to one car.
This is Baltimore Penn Station. This is the main train station for Baltimore, home to the MARC Penn line as well as Amtrak services on the Northeast Corridor, including the Acela service. It's decidedly not anywhere near as large or fancy as DC Union Station, but it's respectable for the amount of traffic it gets. Here is where you normally catch a connection to Baltimore's light rail, but this entrance and branch line of the LRT has been closed for years, with no reopening planned anytime soon. Yeah, that was my ride on the MARC Penn line. I'm here outside of Baltimore Penn Station now, which last time I was here was about a year ago. It was covered in considerably more scaffolding. Like, you couldn't even tell what the building looks like. So it looks like whatever project they have going on here has made really good progress. I'm here in Baltimore to check out the transportation system in general. So we're going to be checking out the subway link and the light rail link here as well. Alright, so now I'm outside of Orioles Park at Camden Yard, which is the transfer station to the MARC Train, which goes to DC through Laurel, Greenbelt, and College Park. As opposed to the way I came from, which is through Penn Station, which goes through New Carrollton, Bowie, and Hillthorne. This is like the southern end of downtown, I guess. LRT tracks over on the left, paper rail tracks on the right. There's 5 tracks though, so I don't understand. Actually, I think there's 6, because I think there's 3 over there. It's either 5 or 6, so that's odd. This is actually the terminus of the Camden line. wonder if the inside of the train station's open. Yes, it is. May not be the cleanest, but the fact that they have openly available restrooms in the Camden Yards train station is a big plus. Those are tough to find in Baltimore. They're tough to find in a lot of areas in DC. Not a bad little area, but there's no departure board in there. That kind of defeats a lot of the purpose. But do you know what you can defeat the purpose of? An unclicked subscribe button.